EQ Video Tip. I'm your host, Eric Forsetter, and as always, we're thrilled for you to be here for another great episode of the EQ Video Tip. Before we jump in, let's review the goals of EQ Video Tip. We've got a great double feature today, and we're going to talk about 10 things that make a great boss. And this comes to us from Justin Bariso. And Justin actually takes his research from a whole different level, and it's from the world of Google. And believe it or not, Google did a study over a course of 10 years plus to understand what makes a great manager within their environment. We're going to dive in and understand what makes a great manager, what are some of the qualities and characteristics, and how to develop those as well. Now, for some of you who aren't managers right now, this is a great way to learn some of those tips. And for those of you who never want to be a manager, that's okay too. You can still use these tips to help manage and work within your team, as well as understand what a good manager looks like and what type of environments you might be wanting to join as you go through your career. Let's dive in and review what Google and Justin have to say. Tip number 1 is a good coach. And that's really important because coaches avoid the trap of trying to solve every problem for the team. Instead, they allow for these teachable moments for the team to figure out what they're trying to do and let them guide them into the insights that are right for them at the right time. This allows the team to gain valuable experience and information as they go along the way and figure out the problems within their work environment. Tip number 2, empowers the team and does not micromanage. And we all hate a micromanager. Who wants to have someone hovering over us on every little minute decision that's out there? Instead, a good team lead gives his people or her people enough freedom to explore new ideas, to experiment, and to figure out and adapt to their working style. In doing so, great managers make sure that their people have the tools and flexibility to succeed in their job. So make sure that you're empowering your team and not micromanaging. Tip number 3, the manager includes everyone and creates an inclusive environment showing concern and well-being for others, and one of which has a lot of room for psychological safety. And when we talk about this, it's important to show that you're vulnerable and that it's okay for others to be vulnerable. This could mean making a mistake, throwing out crazy ideas, and really giving everybody a chance to flourish, but in an emotionally secure and psychologically safe environment. Again, being inclusive to ensure that everyone is a part of decision-making processes or giving ideas for that next big project, but at the same time, making sure that no idea is too outlandish or too crazy out there, and giving everybody the opportunity to flourish in their environments. Our next tip is productive and is results oriented. And it's important to understand that the best managers make those around them more productive. How do they do that? They use EQ to motivate these people and care about them and ensure that these people around them, their coworkers or their colleagues or their employees, are doing the best of their ability and maximizing their potential to ensure projects and deadlines and results are delivered on time and to the expectation they want. But remember, you have to use EQ to use it as opposed to the stick part of it to use as motivation. Our last tip. Great managers are good communicators. They listen and they share information. And it's important that you as a manager, but even as an employee, are a great listener and you enable understanding on your team. You also share and realize that the transparency that you provide to your team helps enable them to understand what's going on around them and motivates them to understand that you are part of a team and part of a greater project out there. By sharing specific resources and information, teammates now understand that you are going out of your way to go to bat for them and help them deliver their results. Additionally, great managers provide praise when necessary, and they do it often, and they do it sincerely, and they do it as early as they can in the process. But they also don't hold back to give necessary negative feedback. And when we say negative feedback, it's always in a way that's constructive and a way to easily learn how to improve upon that as well. So remember, be a good communicator and listen and share information. That concludes the first half of this week's EQ video tip. Here are the 5 items that we covered this week. We'll get into the next 5 when we return next week. Remember to customize them for the best of your ability as well. So that concludes our EQ video tip for today. Try incorporating some of these tips into your daily routine. But remember, use what works best for you and personalize it for yourself. Thank you always to our great research team for providing us with some great tips today. As always on EQ Video Tip, we want to end with gratitude. So thank you for watching. We really appreciate it. Here are some resources that you can use if you want more information on EQ going forward. Thank you again, and we look forward to seeing you in the next episode. Thank you.